Have you ever had that terrifying moment right after you wake up where you look at the alarm clock or your phone and you can't quite make out the numbers? You blink hard once, twice, maybe rub your eyes, but for a few panic inducing seconds or even minutes, everything looks like it is underwater. It is a scary feeling, isn't it? You might immediately think the worst. Is my eyesight going? Is this cataracts? Or maybe even something more serious like a stroke? It is a moment of vulnerability that hits us hard, especially when we are over 60 and already hyper aware of every new ache and pain. We rely on our vision for our independence. It is how we drive it is how we read the labels on our medication. It is how we see the faces of our grandchildren. So when that vision starts to fail us, even if it is just in the mornings, it feels like a threat to our freedom. But what if I told you that morning blurriness is not always just an inevitable part of aging? What if that foggy vision is actually your body waving a red flag trying to tell you about a specific habit or a dietary gap that you can actually fix? Believe it or not, for many seniors that morning, fog is not permanent damage. It is often the result of something happening while you sleep or something you are doing the day before. In this conversation, we are going to walk through the 7 biggest reasons why your vision is blurry in the morning, and more importantly, exactly how to fix them. We are going to uncover the hidden culprits from the way you sleep to the foods you might be eating for dinner that are secretly distorting your lenses overnight. By the end of this, you will have a clear toolkit to help you wake up with sharp, clear vision so you can start your day feeling confident and in control. Before we jump into these eye-opening tips, if you care about staying healthy, mobile, and independent well into your golden years, consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications. We share the kind of deep dive senior health tips that often get skipped over in quick doctor visits. And let me ask you something I'm always curious about where our community is from. Are you watching from the United States, the UK, Australia, or somewhere else entirely? Drop a comment below with your country or city. It is amazing to see how far our senior health family reaches. Now, let us get right into the first major reason you might be waking up with blurry vision. And this is one that catches almost everyone off guard because it seems so simple, yet the biological impact is massive. The first culprit is what I call the nighttime drought. You see, when we sleep, our body goes into a state of repair, but it also goes into a state of water conservation. You are essentially fasting from water for 8, maybe 9 hours. Now think about your eyes. Your cornea, the clear front surface of your eye, relies entirely on moisture to maintain its shape and clarity. It does not have blood vessels to nourish it like the rest of your body does. It gets its oxygen and nutrients directly from the tear film that coats it. Here is the problem. As we get older, our thirst mechanism weakens. We often do not drink enough water during the day because we do not want to be getting up to use the bathroom all night. I get it. Nobody wants to disrupt their sleep. But this leads to mild systemic dehydration. When you are dehydrated, your body has to prioritize where to send fluid, and unfortunately, your eyes are often the first to suffer. Imagine a grape. When it is full of water, it is plump and the skin is tight and smooth. But if you let it dry out, it becomes a raisin. The surface becomes wrinkled and uneven. Now, I'm not saying your eye turns into a raisin, but on a microscopic level, when your hydration drops, the tear film becomes too thin, and the cells on the surface of your eye can become slightly irregular. Light cannot pass through them perfectly straight. It scatters, and that scattered light is what your brain interprets as blurriness. This is especially true if you sleep with the fan on or if the heating in your house is dry. You wake up and your eyelids feel like sandpaper and your vision is cloudy. So what can we do about this? You do not have to chug a gallon of water right before bed. Instead, try front loading your hydration. Drink the majority of your water before 4 or 5 in the afternoon. But here is the real secret. Keep a small glass of water on your nightstand. The moment you wake up before you even get out of bed, sit up and take a few sips. This signals your body to start rehydrating immediately. Also consider using a humidifier in your bedroom. Adding moisture to the air means your tears do not evaporate as quickly while you sleep. It is a small change, but many people tell me that after just 1 week of using a humidifier, they wake up and their eyes feel fresh instead of gritty. It is about creating an environment where your eyes can thrive while you rest. This brings us directly to the second point, which is a bit more scientific, but stick with me because understanding this could save your sight. We need to talk about the sugar lens effect. This is huge for anyone over 60, even if you have not been diagnosed with diabetes. We often think of blood sugar issues as something that only affects your waistline or your energy levels, but your eyes are incredibly sensitive to glucose. The lens of your eye is responsible for focusing light. It is flexible and clear. However, when your blood sugar spikes, let us say you had a big bowl of pasta or a sweet dessert late last night, the glucose levels in the fluid around your lens rise. Here is the simple science. The lens of your eye absorbs that excess glucose. When glucose gets into the lens, it draws water in with it. It is basic osmosis. This causes the lens to physically swell. It changes shape. Imagine trying to look through a camera lens that has swollen up and warped. You cannot focus. Everything looks fuzzy. For many seniors, this is what we call transient refractive change. You wake up vision blurry and you think your prescription has changed. But then as the day goes on and your blood sugar stabilizes, your vision clears up. This fluctuation is dangerous because it masks the problem. You might go to the eye doctor in the afternoon and see perfectly fine, and they tell you nothing is wrong. But every morning that swelling is happening, damaging the proteins in the lens over time, which accelerates cataracts. So what is the fix here? It is about your evening meal. If you are noticing morning blurriness, try to avoid high glycemic carbohydrates at dinner. Skip the white rice, the bread, and the sugary treats within 3 hours of bedtime. Instead, focus on what Dr. William Li calls angiogenesis, fighting foods, healthy fats and proteins. A piece of salmon, some steamed broccoli, maybe a handful of walnuts. These foods stabilize your blood sugar so your lenses stay the correct shape all night long. If you have been waking up with blurry vision regularly, I want you to try this experiment. For 3 days, cut out all sugar and refined carbs from your dinner. Just 3 days. See if that morning fog lifts. You might be shocked to find that your eyes are crystal clear just by changing what is on your plate in the evening. Now moving on to number 3. This one is less about chemistry and more about physics. It is the pillow press. Have you ever thought about how your face lands on the pillow? As we age, our skin loses elasticity and our eyelids become a bit looser. There is a condition called floppy eyelid syndrome, which is exactly what it sounds like, but even without that, just the mechanics of sleeping can hurt your vision. If you are a stomach sleeper or a side sleeper who smushes their face into the pillow, you are putting direct physical pressure on the eyeball. Your eye is filled with fluid, and when you press on it for hours, you are slightly distorting the shape of the cornea. It is like pressing your thumb into a dough ball. It takes a while for it to bounce back to its original round shape. When you wake up after 8 hours of crushing your left eye into the mattress, that eye is going to be blurry. It is called corneal warpage. It usually resolves within an hour or so as the eye regains its shape, but it can be terrifying if you do not know what it is. Furthermore, that pressure can artificially raise the intraocular pressure inside the eye, which is a risk factor for glaucoma issues over the long term. So what is the solution? The best position for your eyes is on your back. I know changing your sleep position after 60 years is incredibly hard. If you absolutely cannot sleep on your back, try to position your pillow so the pressure is on your ear or your jawbone, not your eye socket. Another great investment is a contoured sleep mask that has cups for your eyes. These masks allow you to open your eyes inside the mask and ensure that even if you roll over, the pillow hits the mask rim and not your eyelid. Or consider a silk pillowcase. Silk creates less friction and drag on the skin and eyelids compared to cotton. It is a small luxury that protects your vision, and frankly, it is better for your skin and wrinkles too. So it is a win-win. Now, before we move to the next point, which is about a very specific type of hygiene most of us ignore, I want to quickly check in. If you are finding these tips useful so far, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps spread the word to other seniors who might be waking up scared about their vision. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe for more little known health insights. We are just getting started on this list. All right, let us talk about number 4. This is the oil blockage, or what doctors call meibomian gland dysfunction. This sounds technical, but it is actually very simple. Your tears are not just water. If they were just water, they would evaporate in 2 seconds. Your tears have a top layer of oil that seals the moisture in. This oil comes from tiny glands along the rim of your eyelids right by your eyelashes. Here's the problem. As we get older, these oil glands get sluggish. The oil becomes thick, almost like toothpaste instead of olive oil. And because we blink less often when we are looking at screens or reading, the glands get blocked. When you sleep, you are not blinking at all. So overnight, the stagnant oil hardens and blocks the ducts. When you wake up, your eyes feel sticky, dry, and blurry because you have no oil layer to smooth out the surface of the eye. You are looking through a rough, dry surface. You might notice crustiness in the corners of your eyes. That is a telltale sign. The fix for this is one of the most soothing things you can do for yourself. It is the warm compress. Every morning, or even better, every night before bed, take a clean washcloth and run it under warm water. Not scalding hot, just comfortably warm. Close your eyes and place the cloth over your lids for about 2 minutes. The heat melts that hardened oil, turning it back into a liquid so it can flow freely. After the compress, gently massage your eyelids near the lashes. This expresses the oil. It is like unclogging the pipes. And if you make this a daily habit, you will not only improve your vision clarity, but you will also drastically reduce dry eye symptoms. It feels like a mini spa treatment and it protects the long-term health of your eye surface. Moving on to number 5, let us talk about a modern enemy of our eyes, the blue light hangover. We live in a digital world. Maybe you read the news on your tablet before bed, or you scroll through photos of your family on your phone. I do it too. Now, it is how we stay connected. But blue light from these screens has high energy. It scatters more easily in the eye than other colors, which reduces contrast and contributes to digital eye strain. But here is the kicker for the morning after. When you stare at the screen, you blink about 60% less than normal. Combined with the blue light, this fatigues the ciliary muscle inside your eye. That is the muscle that pulls the lens to help you focus. Imagine holding a heavy weight with your arm for an hour. The next morning, your arm would be stiff and sore and hard to move. That is what happens to your focusing muscle. You overwork it at night with screens, and in the morning it is essentially cramping. It cannot snap into focus quickly. This results in that blurry inability to focus on your coffee cup or the newspaper. You do not have to give up your devices, but we need to use smarter strategies. Most tablets and phones now have a night shift or eye comfort mode that turns the screen a warmer, yellowish color. Turn that on and schedule it to activate automatically at sunset. Better yet, try to follow the 20-20-20 rule in the evening. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. This breaks the locking of that focusing muscle, and if you can put the devices away 1 hour before sleep, listen to an audiobook or a podcast, or listen to some calming music instead. Give your eyes a chance to relax before the long shift of sleeping. Your brain will sleep deeper and your eyes will wake up sharper. Now, number 6 takes us back to nutrition, but specifically a deficiency that is rampant in seniors, the pigment deficit. Your retina, specifically the macula, which is the center of your vision, responsible for seeing fine details, acts like internal sunglasses. It is protected by a pigment made of two specific nutrients called lutein and zeaxanthin. These nutrients filter out harmful light and protect the cells from oxidative stress. As we age, the density of this pigment decreases naturally. If your diet is low in these nutrients, your macula is more exposed to stress and damage, leading to poor contrast sensitivity and visual recovery. If you wake up and it takes a long time for your eyes to adjust to the light, or if things look washed out, you might be low on these greens. Dr. William Lee often talks about eating the rainbow, and for eyes, green is the color of gold. Kale spinach, Swiss chard, and collard greens. These are powerhouses of lutein. But here is a tip many people miss. These nutrients are fat soluble. If you eat a bowl of raw spinach with no dressing, your body absorbs almost none of the lutein. You need fat to carry it into your system. So the actionable tip here is simple. If you are having a salad, add some olive oil or avocado. If you are cooking your greens, saute them in a little healthy oil. Try to get a serving of dark leafy greens in at least 3 or 4 times a week. If you're not a fan of the taste, you can blend a handful of spinach into a fruit smoothie. The sweetness of a banana or berries will mask the taste completely, but your eyes will still get the medicine they need. There are studies showing that seniors who supplement with lutein or increase their intake see a measurable improvement in visual clarity and contrast within a few months. It is not an overnight fix like drinking water, but it's a structural fix that builds a stronger eye for the future. And finally, number 7, this is a big one that relates to your overall cardiovascular health, poor circulation. Your eyes are fed by some of the tiniest blood vessels in your entire body. They are microscopic. Because they are so small, they are often the first place to show signs of poor circulations or high blood pressure. If blood flow is sluggish specifically, while you are lying down flat at night, your optic nerve and retina might not be getting the oxygen payload they need. When you wake up and stand up, your eyes are essentially waking up from a low oxygen state. This can cause graying of vision or blurriness that takes minutes to clear as your heart rate increases and pumps blood back up against gravity. To help this, we want to boost what is called nitric oxide. This is a molecule that relaxes your blood vessels and allows blood to flow more freely. You can boost this naturally with food. Beets are the champion here. Beetroot juice or roasted beets contain nitrates that your body converts to nitric oxide. Another great circulatory booster is simple movement. A morning walk, even just 10 minutes, gets the heart pumping and forces oxygen-rich blood into those tiny capillaries in the eye. It clears out the metabolic waste that accumulated overnight. So if you wake up blurry, do not just sit in a chair and worry. Drink your water and then get moving. Swing your arms, do some gentle marching in place. You might find that as your blood gets pumping, your vision sharpens right up. It is like revving the engine to get the heater working in a cold car. It might feel a bit unsettling to learn all this, to realize that your pillow or your dinner or your hydration habits are messing with your sight. But remember, knowledge is power. Now that you know, you can make simple changes to protect your health. You do not need to overhaul everything overnight. Even cutting down that daily sweet treat or adding a warm compress routine can spare your eyes a lot of strain. Imagine waking up, opening your eyes, and seeing the room clearly immediately. Imagine walking down the stairs with confidence because you can see every step sharply. That is the difference these small tweaks can make over time. So, to recap, let us look at your new clear vision plan. 1. Hydrate before you even get out of bed. 2. Watch the sugary carbs at dinner to stop the lens from swelling. 3. Try to sleep on your back or use a contour mask to stop squashing your eye. 4. Use a warm compress to keep those oil glands flowing. 5. Filter that blue light in the evening. 6. Eat your leafy greens with some healthy fat. And 7. Get your blood moving with beets and gentle exercise. It is all about giving your body what it needs and removing the obstacles that are getting in its way. I know getting older is hard. The aches, the fear of losing mobility, the worry about every new symptom. It can be scary and sometimes it feels discouraging. But I want you to know that you are not alone in this, and it is not too late to turn things around. Your body is incredibly resilient. It is always trying to heal, always trying to find balance. Every small step you take, every glass of water, every healthy meal, every good night of sleep is strengthening your eyes and your future freedom. One meal, one step at a time, you are taking charge of your health. You are not just aging, you're aging with intention and wisdom. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these tips surprised you the most? Did you know that sleeping on your stomach could blur your vision? Or do you have a personal remedy that helps you see clearly in the morning? Share your story or any questions in the comments below. I read every single one and we all learn from each other here. Your experience might be the exact encouragement that someone else needs to read today. If this video helped you open your eyes even a little, please hit the like button. It means a lot to me and it helps this video reach other seniors who need this information. And do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on important health insights that could improve your life. We have plenty more science-backed tips for thriving in your golden years coming up. Stay strong, stay healthy, and remember, your independence is worth fighting for. Keep taking those small steps for your health because they add up to giant strides in your freedom. I will see you in the next video.